everything you think you know about building muscle is keeping you from getting the results that you want. Today, I'm giving you the exact roadmap I wish someone had showed me years ago. A no-nonsense plan to completely transform your physique in the next 90 days. And if you want a proven system my clients have been using to shed body fat while building muscle at the same time, I'm giving away my body recomposition master guide for free with the link in the description below. Here's the reality. Most fitness advice comes from enhanced athletes giving advice to natural lifters. Advice that doesn't work if you're natty because you can't train like enhanced athletes. But what if you just want to be able to lose body fat while putting on new lean muscle tissue? That's exactly what this system delivers. I'm going to give you a proven strategy that cuts through all the noise and information overload that's keeping you stuck. So no more following 10 different influencers with conflicting advice. This is just one clear path to building the body you've made the sacrifices to have. So let's be honest about what 3 months can even do. You're not going to look like a professional bodybuilder, but you will see dramatic improvements in strength, muscle mass, and overall physique, all while leaning down at the same time. 3 months gives you enough time to dial in your habits and create real lasting change. And this kind of change, it lasts for life. This isn't just about building muscle and losing fat. It's about learning how to transform into someone that can make gains and keep them for life. With that being said, where do we start? I'm only giving you 2 workout options because decision fatigue kills progress, often before it could even be started. Option 1 is an upper-lower 4-day split. Day 1 is an upper body push day for chest, shoulders, and triceps. Day 2 is a lower body quad focused leg day, also including core. Day 3 is an upper body pull day for back and biceps, and day 4 is a lower body posterior focused leg day, also including core. Then there's option 2, a push-pull legs 3-day split with an alternating leg day. Day 1, you train your push muscles, day 2, train your pull muscles, and day 3, you train your leg muscles, primarily quad focused. And then day 3 the following week after day 1 and 2 will be a posterior focused leg day. You can also run this every other day if your schedule allows it. You might think training 6 days a week is superior, but here's what I've learned after hundreds of workouts of all varieties. Frequency isn't everything. Most volume works if you can actually recover from it. The average natural lifter can't recover from high volume and high intensity. Most people are sleep deprived, under-eating, and overstressed. Adding more training to that equation is akin to pouring gasoline on a fire. While those other lifestyle stressors need to change, it's best to focus on one area of your life at a time to create a sustainable system for transformation. When I scaled back to 2 to 4 intense sessions per week, everything changed. My discipline to train became effortless. I sustained 0 injuries because overtraining was no longer a factor. I was able to achieve consistent strength and muscle gains. And as a result of all of that, I had more energy that followed me outside of the gym. Let's compare that to when I trained 6 to 7 days a week. I was experiencing constant fatigue and had no time for anything else in my life. I had frequent injuries due to overused joints and frustrating plateaus I couldn't break because I couldn't recover fast enough to ever be back at 100%. So what's the exercise selection that actually works? Here are my upper body essentials. For chest, my go-tos have always been an incline dumbbell bench press, a seated cable press, any variation of cable flies, and an incline machine press. For my upper back, I like to do face pulls, Kelso shrugs, chest-supported T-bar rows, and dumbbell rows. For my mid-back, I would do close grip lat pull-downs, wide grip horizontal rows, neutral grip dumbbell rows, and any kind of bent-over barbell row, preferably underhand. And then for all 3 heads of my shoulders, starting with the front head, I would perform a dumbbell overhead press or a cable front raise. For my side delts, I would do cable lateral raises or dumbbell lateral raises. And then for my rear delts, I perform a cable fly or a dumbbell fly. Moving on to biceps, I would either do an incline dumbbell curl, a cable curl, or any kind of preacher curl. For triceps, I prefer to do a rope pushdown, a reverse grip easy bar pushdown, or an overhead extension. Moving on to lower body essentials, I'm going to group quads and glutes together because a lot of these exercises are performed for both. Starting off, we have barbell and Smith machine back squats, any form of machine or hack squat, leg extensions for quads, and then a leg press to either focus on the quads or glutes or a mix of both. For hamstrings, I would perform a stiff-legged deadlift, which also trains the glutes as the secondary focus. And then for isolation work, I would perform a seated leg curl. And then to round off my accessory movements for my legs, I would perform any form of straight-legged calf raise or extension, a hip abductor machine to train the adductors. I could also train these on a leg press with a specific foot position. And then finally, I would train the hip abductors on their respective machine. For core, it's important that you don't perform any kind of body weight exercise and stick to weighted movements you can progressively overload. Treat them just like any other muscle and train them once or twice a week. With that being said, I like to perform a cable rope crunch, any weighted machine crunch, and then a decline bench plate crunch to target my lower 2 abs. So now that you know what exercises you should be doing, how do you structure a workout? So all of my workouts can actually be found in my free school community that you could access with the link in the description. But today I'm going to show you the best possible structure for both the 3 and 4 day split. Remember, lower volume means you must train with higher intensity. If you're not pushing yourself harder than you would in a 6-day program, this won't work. Having the correct workouts with the golden structure is a great start, but how does progression factor into all of this? Without progression, you don't have a program. You just have a random list of exercises. Here's the method I've consistently used to continue keep getting results with every single workout. Number 1, start with the weight you can lift for at least 8 challenging reps, with your maximum being no more than 10. Add 1 rep each week to 1 or all sets. Number 2, when you hit 12 reps across all sets, increase your weight by 2.5 to 5 pounds. Number 3, drop back down to 8 reps and repeat. I prefer to only add reps when all sets hit the same number. This keeps progression clean and avoids random fluctuations. Once you complete each set, you gotta rest until you're ready to hit the next set at 100%. My rest times vary for each movement depending on difficulty, but I usually base my starting point on this framework. For compound movements, I like to rest for 2 to 3 minutes at a minimum. And for the remainder accessory work, 90 seconds to 2 minutes is more than enough. You can't just jump into your first workout set right when you show up for your session, however. You need to perform a warm-up for your first exercise of each major muscle group that you train. The perfect warm-up is precisely just performing the exact movement that you're starting with. With that being said, it's 50% of your working weight for 8 reps, 75% of your working weight for 4 reps, and then 100% of your working weight for 1 rep. Here's an example of how to warm up if you're doing a seated cable press and your working weight is 120 pounds. Set number 1 will be 60 pounds for 8 reps. Set number 2, 90 pounds for 4 reps. And set number 3, 120 pounds for 1 rep. Then you jump into your working sets and perform them at 120 pounds. No yoga, jumping jacks, or any kind of complicated mobility routines needed. Just move the weight that you came here to move. When you put all of that together, you have the perfect workout that makes gains for life. So how do you recover to make sure that's possible? So your rest days aren't for sitting on the couch. Here's what I recommend. I like to walk 10,000 steps a day minimum. This active recovery promotes blood flow, reduces stress, and supports overall health without interfering with your training recovery. And optionally, I like to listen to 1 hour of educational podcasts or audiobooks while walking. The reason for this is I like to stay in that growth-oriented mindset that translates beyond just building muscle in the gym. Moving on to nutrition, I like to keep the majority of my kitchen food spaces stocked with sustainably sourced whole foods and meal prep if needed. Plan your following day using a list and then work from that list. So this could mean having your calories mapped out ahead of time and then constantly tracking each workout so you know what you did last time and what you need to do this time in order to succeed. Next, I highly recommend going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, which makes getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep effortless to accomplish. Recovery is one of the most important parts of the process, but it means nothing without the right mindset to tie everything together. So what does that look like? This system is simple, but it's not easy. If it were, everyone would be walking around with peeled physiques year-round. Here's your action steps to make sticking to your goals a reality rather than just a forgotten future endeavor. Number 1, write down your specific goal. In this case, it could be something like gaining 10 pounds of muscle in the next 90 days. Number 2, read it every morning and before bed. Keep it somewhere that you can consistently see on a regular basis. And then number 3, remember the reason you started this journey and use that fuel to visualize yourself having already achieved that goal. Then align yourself with that feeling and use it as a compass to get back on track if anything causes you to trail off. Here's the golden rule. If it's not covered in the system, you probably don't need it. So stop overcomplicating things. With that being said, what's next? You now have everything that you need to transform your physique over the next 90 days. Pick either the upper or lower split or the push-pull legs routine. Commit to the progression system and stay consistent. The magic isn't in the complexity. It's in the consistency of doing the basics exceptionally well. You can never be too proficient with your fundamentals. And if you don't know where to start and need help applying this framework to your life so you could start making gains as fast as possible, you can book a free private one-on-one call with me using the link I've provided in the description below. It's just for me to see if I can help you, and if I can, we'll come up with a game plan that could be either implemented yourself or working one-on-one with me. I look forward to working with each and every one of you.